Welcome back to Nuremeberg. I'm just in the process of talking about the yin and so on, but I said we'd talk about the lineage system, so let's do that for a moment. Who you were was incredibly important. You're able to play estates in the game. So, for example, you may start and roll a character and you will be a peasant, a very low peasant. And you know what? Your friends are probably going to all be peasants as well, your companions. And that's because, I'm sorry, but you don't have a knight and a peasant and a merchant go out on an adventure together unless they have a reason to or there's some sort of a connection. So the way I'm thinking at the moment, and this is all open to feedback and my development, but it could be that your first party will pretty much just be peasants, and that will be useful because it will teach you all about what it will be like to be a peasant, and you will have to abide by peasant rules and restrictions. However, that doesn't mean there's no way to move up. There are ways to socially move up, even in this system. So your game will be spent looking for ways to move up into the merchant class by perhaps making a fortune. When you do that, you will permanently unlock the ability to roll and recruit and be a merchant in the game. And you will be able to be a merchant, and your companions could be fellow merchants, and so on. And then once you're a merchant, you are interested in the next step, which is stepping up and moving up into the next estate, and so on. So part of this process of knowing what estate you are is who your relatives were. If you are high class and people could find out smears on your family background, they could damage you immensely and affect your status. So it was about protecting your family name, your honor of your family, and so on. And people love to find dirt on other ones and cover up dirt in their own family to make sure that they had the social prestige which worked as currency. If you are very low class as well, you're very vulnerable. People could accuse you of crimes. No one would listen to you because your estate is so low and your word means very little. Whereas if you were a very high ranking person or high estate level, a knight, your word was way higher. And it also depends on where you are. So if you're in a city, that's very different than if you're out somewhere else. So all of these factors come into play for your estate. So we now have a problem. How on earth am I going to give you guys a history or a family? And this is now going to start coming into character creation as well. So here we are, we started talking about lineage and we're talking about family and character creation. What's the connection? The connection is this. What's it like with most role-playing games? What's your name? What's your gender? And what class are you? Isn't that what always happens? But really, all the history is shaped. It's just a role. You don't feel anything about that character. You're not attached to them. You don't care about them. And furthermore, without knowing who your family was, where you were raised, your estate that your family was born into and what they were like, how are you supposed to truly be who you are? How do you know what situations you're going to come across who turn you into what you want to be so that you can develop your skills and your attributes and all of that in a meaningful way? It's never been done, has it? With my background, because my background is in education and particularly in sociology, I have a keen interest in the agents of socialization and how they end up affecting your childhood. It's a big deal, and I don't know what you want, but I think it would be just so cool if you're going through and your family and where you're from affects the sort of situations that you face during your role or your childhood that make you into who you are. So that's where the lineage system now comes in, because what we're doing is we're saying, who are your family? All of that has to be generated and rolled. And if I generate it and I roll it, then I need a way of showing you that family, which means I now need a stupid family tree, don't I? So you can see how this project sort of snowballs, but it has to, because we need that character authenticity built into the game. So what happens is when you start your character and you begin defining who you are and what your role is, it will generate your family background and your history along with it. So I'm delighted to be able to show you that system that I have built, and it's called the family tree, and I experimented with the Marcel tree, which is my family, to make sure that it all made sense and it would roll it correctly. So I'm just going to use a random seed here, and we're going to generate a random family tree to show how it works. So I've just rolled Conra, which is me, and you'll notice here it gives me a full background history of my family that it's rolled. I've classified as the survivors. In 8 generations, the primary heir died young. Each time a younger sibling stepped in from the shadows to carry the torch. You are the product of survivors. So in this time period, we've just come out of the Black Death, all of that amazing period. The population in Europe at the time collapsed. So many plague victims. So that's me, and I am 18 years of age. And if I go left, I can see my brother-in-law. That's my sister, and she's married him. So my sister's 24, right? If I go further left again, this here is my sister, my other sister-in-law. My other brother is Johan. So can you see how all of this is done? Some of your siblings are already married. Now, Conrad does have a first cousin, but I don't have any younger brothers, so these are on the same line with me. Who's my dad? Well, if I push up, I see that it's actually Henslein is my father, and it looks like he's dead. So the only one that's alive is my mother, my paternal mother, and she's a peasant, and we can sort of see a little bit about her here. She bore the weight of the line and the cost. Blood runs hot in her veins. She laughs easily, loves carelessly, forgives herself too quickly. Born poor, she died less poor. Ah, there's a bug, she's still alive, so I'll have to fix that one up. That was victory enough. She yet draws breath. The work continues, the days remain. So we have a little bit of a history that you can go back. Now, you're a peasant. A lot of your relatives won't matter. We're still demonstrating full trees here. But when you're a peasant, we're going to limit the scope to make it quite small. If you want to learn more about your family, you're going to have to talk to them and find out who they are and visit them. And as you do, your tree will grow, and you may find something very interesting about your family, perhaps something that will allow you to move up. That's what I'm thinking. And if you have children, I may be able to extend that tree. Not a promise, just if we have time for development. So this is quite an interesting system. It's a necessary one for what we're going to do, which is the character creation. So that's it for this video. I'm going to show you the character creation for real shortly.